Hi, Verbling. My name's Michaela. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. And today we're talking about the Darwin Awards. It's going to be a really fun class today. If you guys have any comments or questions on this class, you can let me know on Facebook, and I'll put my Facebook name in the chat box for you. Kevin, welcome to class.
Hello.
Hello,
Thank
how
you.
are you?
I'm fine, thanks. And you?
Doing really well. Admiring
Good.
your dog.
Good. Ah, you have a dog.
No, well, yes and no. I'm admiring your dog, who is super cute. I
Oh, my dog.
live with 5 dogs here in Brazil,
Fine.
where I live. Yeah, but they're not really
Oh, you
mine,
live
but I do live
you
with them.
you live in Brazil?
Yes, I'm from
Oh.
Phoenix, Arizona, but I live in Brazil, and
I am
we.
Brazilian,
Oh, really?
really, but I live in Japan.
Interesting. That's pretty
Yeah,
cool. How did you get to Japan? I
for
mean, just
almost
for
50
fun?
years.
Wow. And did you move there for fun, for the experience? Why? For family?
My family live here for almost 14 years, and so I am living in Brazil alone. So I come here to stay together with my family, and
That is pretty cool.
yeah. What are you doing in Brazil?
I teach English and I'm exploring a little bit. I really love it
Oh,
here.
that's cool. Did you like it?
It's beautiful. Yeah, I live in Minas and it's
Ah,
beautiful.
Minas.
Mhm.
Nice. Interesting.
Yes, very. I'm going to welcome a couple other students. Hussein, welcome to class. Hussein, are you there?
Hello. Yeah. I'm here. Michelle.
Hey, how are you?
Michelle. I'm doing great. Thank you. How about you?
I'm doing
Is
really well.
is Michaela, right? Not Michelle. Michelle is a male name. Ah, okay. Okay.
Yes, usually, but whatever. I'll respond to whatever. You can say Michelle, Michaela, Mika, Michaela, whatever you
But
like.
the true one is Michelle, right?
That's how
Michaela.
Americans
Michaela.
pronounce it, yeah. All right. Emmanuel, welcome to class.
Hey, Michaela. Good morning, everyone.
For me, it's the morning. Good morning to you, too. Good to have you with us,
Morning.
Emmanuel.
Thanks.
And Andrew, how are you?
Marvel.
Not morning for you, it's afternoon, right?
Yes, I'm Marvel. Thank
You're what?
Marvel. I'm fine.
Marvelous. Ah, okay. Marvelous. I got it. I got it. Sorry.
Okay.
Piece it together. Okay. So today we're talking about the Darwin Awards, and I'm going to put the notes in the chat box for you guys while we warm up with some questions. You can load those up if you want to look at them, or you can just wait until I put my screen share up, and then you can look off my copy. So the first warm-up question today is, what are some of the stupidest things you've ever done? So a
Whoa,
stupid thing you've done. I
there's a lot.
want to know. Really? Share some with us.
Wow.
I'm putting you
Well,
on the spot.
I gonna tell when I come to Japan.
Hmm.
I when I
Yeah,
come
tell us
here,
about that.
it's a winter, right? And it's my first
Hmm.
time on the it's really cold. So my mother told me to go to one drugstore and buy one lipstick for winter. I don't think if you guys know about that. It's a
Chapstick?
lipstick, like it's like a
Is it,
lipstick.
but is it clear or is it colored?
It's clear.
Okay, sounds like chapstick to me. Which
Yeah,
is
like
a kind of lipstick, but it's like for to
yeah, you
keep your
use
lips
to your
moist.
yes, to when it's really cold. But I can't read Japanese word kanjis, hiragana and the katakana. I just buy one glue. It's Bond,
Oh my god.
and I use it on my lip. My
Oh
lip.
my gosh. That is
Yeah,
hilarious.
and I
Hysterical, but
feel really
hilarious.
strange, and I told it to my mother. That's not the word. Is what is it? He just tell me it's a glue. It's not a lipstick for the winter. That's really stupid, and
That
I
is
need to
an
go to the
awesome
doctor,
story.
and yeah,
And were you okay? Did it do you any harm?
yeah, I'm fine.
All right. Good to hear you survived. But that's a
Yeah,
really funny story. I love it. All right.
okay.
So who can match his funny story? Hussein, do you have any funny stories of something you did that was kind of dumb?
Yeah, I guess it was dumb that the time that I traveled to France in the plane, I asked uh, shouting like British person, how can you
You've
do
asked
this?
what?
And everyone looked at me.
What did you ask for?
I asked,
Uh-huh.
I asked if person there because I was not able to speak French,
Uh-huh.
and it was kind of strange for me. And I asked if
Uh-huh.
there is any Turkish person. Ask him, how can I go to the place that I want to go? And everyone looked at me, and was everybody was looking at me like they don't understand anything because they were all French, and it was kind of weird. And then
That's
someone
so
answered
funny.
me. He was Turkish, and he explained me. It was.
So he explained
I
your
felt
error.
like I was stupid. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there before. It's tough sometimes when you're not totally sure you know what you're saying, and then everyone looks at you like you're crazy and you know you've said something wrong. That's awful. Thanks for sharing, Hussein. Emmanuel, do you have any stories of things you did that weren't so smart?
Um, I can recall right now.
That's okay. Sometimes it takes a while. Think a little bit, and then if you think of one, let us know. Andrew, any stories of you doing things that were not so smart?
One thing I recall is I bought a tablet, this kind of iPad, but it is not iPad, and I used it for a week. Yeah, I've never used it since then.
Ah, so you bought something and then you ended up never using it.
Yeah.
I hate doing that. That's awful. I'm guilty as well. Sometimes I buy something and I'm so excited and then I never use it and then I'm embarrassed that I spent a lot of money on something that really
Yeah,
wasn't.
I do that too.
What have you bought that you never ended up using?
I
Uh,
bought a tablet.
A tumbler?
No, tablet.
Oh, a
Like I
tablet.
like iPad, but it is not made by Apple. You don't
Annoying. Yeah, I you bought a tablet like for a computer, right?
Yes.
And it was made by the company Apple, and then you never ended up using it afterwards.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really frustrating. Has anyone else had an experience like that where they bought an expensive product and in the end they didn't use it?
Excuse me, can I ask you,
Yeah.
how do you call device which is like iPad, but it is not iPad, but it's the same technology, which
Is it
touch
like a Kindle?
screen?
Like a Kindle type thing?
Uh,
So it's an iPad or it's like an iPad?
it is like an iPad, but Samsung, made by
Oh.
made by Samsung.
Maybe a
Yeah,
tablet. Yeah,
it's
a
really
tablet.
strange. You buy one iPad and never use it.
Mhm. A tablet, exactly. They're called tablets.
Tablets.
All right, so let's do one more question before we move on to a little bit of reading. How about, let's do number 2. That one looks fun. How important is it to you or your parents that you pass on your genes and have children? So, tell me how important it is to you to procreate one day eventually, or if you already have. Andrew, do you want to go first on this one and we'll go the opposite order?
Okay, I can start. But about genes, I think it is not important if my children will get the same skills or abilities or the same color of hair. But it is important for them that I will have children.
Mm. So you would be okay with something like adoption, where you
No,
don't pass on your genes but you have children?
uh, yeah, I didn't mean that. Yes, of course, I want to have children produced where I should be involved in process.
All right, so you do want to have children and you do want to pass on your genes.
I meant that it doesn't matter if my children get more genes from my wife, for example.
Got it. All right, so it's moderately important to you or very important?
Uh, that's important.
Okay. All right. Emmanuel, how important is it to you that you have children and pass on your genes?
Mm, well, for me, it's very important.
Very important. All right.
Yeah, well, in my family, we are um, 10 children.
Wow.
I am the last of them, and um, I'm for example, I'm married, but I have only one children. But it's important for me and my family because
Mhm.
we like them. We like the children. I have um, sort of 20 um, nephews,
Mhm. You
and
have a
well,
huge family then.
yeah, we like them, and we think, and our parents think it's important for the family. It's important because it's a way uh, men's become well, parents and become serious, or I don't know how to say this. Mm,
Mhm.
and it's the way you have something, um, well, yeah, something to live for, or something, or someone, and yeah, the point
All
is
right.
that family, children, all, it's important.
All right. Sounds like it's very important to you. Hussein, what do you think? Is it very important, moderately important, not important? Hussein, are you there? Hussein, I can't hear you. If you can hear me, let me know in the chat box. Kevin, how about you go for us? Tell us if passing on your genes is very important to you or just moderately important, not important.
Yeah, I think it's important, right? It's to pass your. Oh, that depends of your genes. Yeah, I think it's important.
All right.
Mm,
So, both of these questions have something to do with the topic of our class today, the Darwin Awards. Does anybody know what the Darwin Awards are?
it's a award for stupid things.
Yes, exactly. It's an award for a really dumb thing, and you have to die. You have to do something really dumb and then die doing it so that you never pass on your genes. So we're about to read some pretty funny stories that are a little bit sad because, people do die in these stories. But for the most part, they're kind of really good lessons to all of us still living about what not to try and not to do. And they're called the Darwin Awards because Charles Darwin came up with the theory that if you're not very intelligent, you won't end up passing on your genes. You won't have children because if you die from doing something dumb before you have children, then your genes are taken out of the gene pool. You lose and you don't get to have kids. Okay, so let's start. We have a little introductory paragraph here. And let's have Andrew read that one for us.
Can you unhighlight it because the picture is not clear?
You want me to make it bigger?
Yes, a bit. Would be nice.
Is that good? Or bigger? A little bigger?
Okay, I will try. Best of the Darwin Awards. According to the DarwinAwards.com, the Darwin Awards celebrate individuals who protect our gene pool by making the ultimate sacrifice of their own lives. Darwin Awards Darwin Award winners eliminate themselves in an extraordinary idiotic manner, thereby improving our species' chances of long-term survival. Accidental self-sterilization also qualifies. However, the award is always given after the recipient has died.
Thank you very much. There is a lot of large vocabulary word here, like extraordinarily.
Extraordinarily.
Yeah, kind of a tongue twister there. Do you guys have questions on any of this vocabulary before we go on and read some of the stories?
Can you tell me the right pronunciation to idiocy?
Idiotic.
Idiotic.
Yes.
Idiotic. Idiotic.
Yes. Idiotic.
Idiotic. Okay, thank you.
All right. Any other questions before we start reading? Okay, then let's get started. So, story number 1 is for Emmanuel. Can you read that one for us?
Sure. South Carolina. An armed robber used gold spray paint to disguise his face and then raided a convenience store. The paint released toxic fumes and the man collapsed and died shortly after the robbery. To add insult to injury, the disguise didn't work. Witnesses easily identified the 23-year-old, and that's it.
All right. So, silly death number 1. We have a couple vocabulary words in this paragraph. Let's define them as we go. So, can anyone help us define the word disguise? What's the definition for a disguise?
To change Appearance.
A change of appearance. Exactly. So he was trying to hide his appearance so that he could rob a convenience store. And what about raid? Here it's in the past, raided. He raided a convenience store.
Read. A sudden attack?
It is a sudden attack. Definitely a sudden attack, usually when you take things. So
Yeah.
usually involves stealing lots of different items. All right, let's go on and read number 2. This one happened in Florida. Hussein, would you mind reading number 2 for us?
Yeah, I have a problem with my connection. I don't know, but
I
I'm
can
gonna
hear you
try.
okay now. Glad you're back.
Okay, okay. Florida, a man was stuck in a traffic jam. The nature called. He got out of his car and jumped over a concrete wall to find a more private spot. Before he did, he knew he was parked on top of a bridge. He fell 65 feet to his death.
That one is pretty bad. That one makes me wince a little bit. He accidentally jumped over a short wall and fell 65 feet to his death. That's pretty rough. All right.
What does
Kevin,
that mean? If you get
what
65
does what
feet
mean?
to. Okay,
Um,
he fell. Okay. I
mm-hmm.
understood. I was thinking like
Any other
he fell.
questions? No. Yeah, he fell. Totally different. Any other questions on the phrasing or vocabulary of this one? We have a phrase, nature called. What does it mean if nature is calling?
You're gonna
When
die.
get his time on this planet, the nature is calling for him.
All right. Does it happen to people daily? So, how many times does nature call?
I
It's
think
about
it,
instincts.
When he need to go to restroom.
Yeah, it's a very polite way to say you have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
So he got out of his car to pee and ended up
Yeah.
jumping over a bridge. All right. Any other questions from this one before we go on to number 3? I know, this is terrible. It's like really sad, but also pretty funny.
That's horrible. That's horrible. He just jumped on the wall and
Yep,
he did
that was
not
it.
saw his on the bridge. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's awesome.
All right, Kevin,
Okay.
read number 3 for us.
Okay. Number 3. South Africa. Two muggers were sprinting away from a crowd after stealing a cell phone and a purse. One mugger, apparently out of shape, could run no further. He climbed a high fence and survived the high drop to the other side. His escape, his escape plan worked. However, he had forgotten that he was at the Blowing Fountain Zoo. He was he was now inside the tiger exhibit.
Uh-huh.
The remains of his bodies were found the next afternoon. Okay.
This one's pretty gruesome too. We have one vocabulary word here, muggers. What is a mugger? Does anyone know?
it's like a robber.
Uh-huh. It's like a
Uh,
robber. How is it a little different than a robber?
Well, I think muggers attack and robs another person,
Mhm.
and the robber might not attack to the person or might not rob directly to the person.
Yeah, So a mugger would be person to person, maybe using a gun or a knife or some kind of threat. But a robber is a little more general. You could rob a bank, you could rob a house, but muggers is more individual person to person action.
That like hobbers who attacking public place like
Mhm.
parks.
Um,
Okay. So okay.
yeah, could be something like that. Usually it's just like one to one, and it's a little different than a thief because a thief would be a term for someone who maybe takes something out of your pocket while you're not looking. But a mugger
Okay.
is usually someone who says like, "Hey, look, I'm taking your stuff because I have a knife or because I have a gun." So it's usually a
Okay.
little bit more violent.
Yeah, a mugger is a little thing or a little bit more violent,
Mhm. A little bit more
or
violent for sure.
it threats you,
Or what?
or he threats you.
Yeah, threat. Yeah. Mhm. All right. Any other questions on the vocabulary or phrasing of number 3?
It says he was now inside the tiger exhibit.
Mhm.
This is that it's saying that he was in where the tiger in
Yeah,
the
an
tiger
exhibit
exhibit
would
show.
be like a show, some kind of show, usually based in a particular location. And of course, the tiger exhibit is not a location you want to be. You want to be, or you want to be behind a fence, anyways.
Mm,
Okay.
So you might also have like a mineral exhibit. Sometimes museums will do specific exhibits like that. But those are a little more people friendly than the tiger exhibit. All right. Any last questions before we do number 4?
no.
All right.
The way, what does sprint away mean?
Sprint. Can anyone define the word sprint?
Sprint.
Spring.
Where is that word?
Where?
It's in the first sentence here. Sprinting. They were
Like,
sprinting away.
yes.
Like they run away, running.
Hmm. It's a kind of run. Why is it different from run?
Yeah, it's when they just start to run, but in a strong way, or
Yeah,
it's
like
like
a
take off. It's
super
like take off.
short, fast run.
Fast
Yeah,
run.
take off. Super fast, but usually short. All right. Let's do number 4. We're back to Andrew. Go ahead and read number 4.
Well, a handicapped man, irritated that an elevator closed and departed without him, rammed his wheelchair into the door not once, not twice, but 3 times in all, only to plunge down the now empty elevator shaft to his death.
Yep, that one's a bummer, and we have lots of vocab words there.
Plunge, plunge.
Plunge. Let's do that one first. Can anyone help us define the word plunge?
Plunge.
Mm-hmm.
Like he did a quick
Jump.
quick jump. Like we when we go to dive
Jump
like
into.
that. We
Something like jumping. Let's
jump
add a
Dive
little to that.
dive into something.
Yeah, dive into.
submerge
Submerge.
on the
Submerge.
elevator.
It's good synonym.
It's
It's
like
like any
jump
sharp
or pushing
downward.
quickly.
Yeah, yeah. It's always something very like a sharp downward motion. So it could be a jump as long as it's like a jump over the edge of something, maybe a jump into a pool or into a body of water, a sharp downward motion.
Mm. Okay.
All right. How about rammed? What did he do with his wheelchair?
To
He
Bring
rammed the door.
into.
He threw
Uh-huh.
off his chair to elevator doors.
Yeah, okay, so maybe he was thrown out of his chair, but when he was ramming the doors, what was he doing with his wheelchair?
Ramming the doors.
Bring in.
he was jamming, I guess. It's like jam as
Uh-huh.
well. When
Kind of like jam.
he
So
he
he
put
was,
his wheelchair into the doors so that the door will be open and he is going to try to jump into the elevator.
maybe.
It's
So
like
Uh,
force the door, for example, to open.
yeah, it has something to do with forcing. So a ram would be like crashing into something, but on purpose. So if you ram the doors, it means you're purposefully shoving yourself against the doors. And in this case, I don't know if he wanted them to open, but they did open and he fell in. So not a really positive outcome for him, but he was just annoyed, and so he crashed his wheelchair into the doors because he was upset.
Nice.
Yeah. And the last one we have here is irritated. How can we define irritated? This time I'm going to ask Andrew, can you define irritated for us?
yes, it is like annoyed. He was annoyed.
Great synonym. All right. Do you guys have any other questions on number 4 before we move on to number 5? All right, let's do it then. Number 5 is for Emmanuel.
Okay. England. The police found the body of a 33-year-old man in the hallway of his house. He had bled to death from a stab wound to the chest. Investigators later pieced together the evidence that likely because his death, a long knife the man had purchased in Spain was found near the body. His wife, who was away on holiday at the time of the incident, later related that her husband had been wondering if the jacket was stab-proof. Apparently, it wasn't. It was not.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's do the vocab here and then we'll talk about what this one means. When they pieced together the events, what does that mean?
Put the pieces
Mm-hmm.
together.
So in this case, what are the pieces? Are they
Uh,
physical pieces or metaphorical pieces?
Metaphorical. All the things they found,
Mm-hmm.
they investigated. Um, yeah, all the things, all the clues they found.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. They found clues and information, and eventually they put them together to understand what happened. And what about stab proof? How about Hussein? Any idea what stab proof means?
Yeah, yeah. If
Mm,
something is step-proof, it's
well,
like when
in the context,
Sorry, guys, one at a time. Hold on. How about Hussein? Can you go first and give us a little information on what stab proof is?
if something is step-proof, it's like if you use step against that thing, it cannot work. Like if the jacket is step-proof, if you try to use your knife on this jacket, it won't work. Like it
Mm,
won't harm it. If someone wears that, you cannot stab him because the jacket is step-proof.
yes.
Like if the something is bulletproof, you cannot shot him with your gun.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. Any other questions on the vocabulary in this one, number 5? Okay, then we're going to do number 6, and I'm going to split this one into 2 sections. The first one here is for Hussein to read, and then when he's finished, Kevin, will you read the second part of that?
Okay.
Los Angeles. Larry's dream was to fly, but poor eyesight disqualified him from being a pilot. Here, he made a plan. He attached 45 weather balloons to his lawn chair, named Inspiration Eye. He filled the 4-foot diameter balloon armed with sandwiches and a pellet gun to shoot the balloons. When it was time to descend, he cut a cord that anchored him to his jeep. He took off. He had planned to float lazily 30 feet above his backyard, but instead climbing to 16,000 feet.
Frozen and frightened, he floated there for more than 14 hours with his beer and sandwich. He crossed an airplane approach corridor to LAX airport, where some pilots reported a strange sight. Eventually, he gathered the nerve to shot a few balloons and he descended. His balloons caught in a power line, causing neighborhood a blackout for 20 minutes. Larry did not die in the incident and therefore was designated a Darwin Awards as a risk survivor. When asked why he did it, he responded, "A man can't just sit around."
This one's pretty good. So let's do the vocab here. The first word, anchored. Kevin, will you define that one for us?
Anchor.
Mm-hmm.
Anchor.
The cord anchored him to his jeep.
Anchored. Like uh, it's like attached to our hope.
Uh-huh. That's a big part of it.
Jeep,
Mm-hmm.
right?
All right. See you, Andrew. Sorry, he's leaving. Okay, yes. So anchored is when the cord is attaching him to something that doesn't allow him to fly away or float away, or sometimes this term is used for boats, but it's basically stopping the motion with a cord of some kind. All right. Next vocab word is nerve. Emmanuel, can you define the word nerve? Gathered nerve?
Yeah, well, nerve is like he started to how can I say to take care of something. He started to get scary.
He was scared for sure. So if you're very scared, but you gather your nerve to do what you need to do, what do you think nerve means? What's a good synonym for it in this situation?
Um, Synonym for this.
So he's afraid, but he gathered the nerve and did what he needed to do.
Yeah, actually, he was afraid. That would be the word.
Huh? Afraid?
Yeah.
Afraid is part of the definition, but there is a little more to it. How about Hussein? Can you add to that? So, in addition to being afraid, what are you doing when you gather your nerve?
It's like you're very angry, and if you get the nerve, I guess it's like you have patience to do something, and you are a little bit angry, so you're going to do that whatever it takes.
Yeah, that's a pretty good description. Definitely is an emotional word. So a good synonym here might be something like bravery or courage.
Courage. Oh yeah.
Hmm.
So he found a motivation.
Yeah, motivation is another good synonym. Exactly. All right, and Hussein, will you help us define the next word here? Blackout?
Mhm. Black. I guess it is like when there's no light, like electricity. So yeah, I guess I've learned it before, but I don't remember it very well. Blackout is like if there's a blackout, there's no light, there's no electricity, so all the city has no
Yeah.
electricity. They have no light.
Mhm.
For example,
Yep,
here
that's
it says a
exactly right.
neighborhood blackout. It's like the neighbor city has no light. All
Mhm.
cities all dark.
Yep, no electricity. All right. And the last one here, designated, is for Kevin. Go ahead and try to define designated. It was designated a Darwin
Designated.
Award.
Designated. Well, he did not die on the incident, but
Mhm.
he was designated to Darwin Awards. He was nominated to
Mhm. Yeah,
to
nominated is good.
Yeah, chosen
to
for.
yeah,
Mhm.
just appointed to win the Darwin Awards
Mhm.
for the risk he had given, but survived. So I think
Mhm.
nominated, appointed, like that.
Yeah, nominated, appointed, or maybe titled, named, something like that. All very good synonyms. Okay, let's do a little comprehension. Number one, what are the requirements to receive a Darwin Award? How about Emmanuel? What are the requirements?
For a Darwin Award.
Yeah, how do you
Um,
get the Darwin Award?
by stay alive, by
By
staying alive.
staying alive? Did the people in these stories usually stay alive?
Well, the last man that uh, didn't die,
Mm-hmm.
and he was designated for the Darwin Award. I think that it's one of the how did you say uh, yeah,
Requirements?
requirements? Yeah, yeah. So,
All right, so the last guy was designated for an at risk award, but not a full Darwin Award. The first few were full Darwin Awards because they died. So actually, it's kind of the opposite because
oh
you
yeah,
have to die in order to receive a full Darwin Award. If you don't die, like the last guy, he received an at risk award, not a full Darwin Award. Right. Question number two. Idiom. The man left his car because nature called. What does this idiom mean? Hussein, can you answer that for us?
Yeah. It's like when you have to take a pee. But
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
the nature calls you.
Hmm. Thanks very much, Hussein. Number three, Kevin. Little did he know he was on top of a bridge. What does it mean when you say little did he know?
He did not he have no idea that he was on top of a bridge and
Yes.
just jumped to the other side. So
Yep, that's exactly it. Thanks, Kevin. Number four, we're back to Emmanuel. After reading the stories, can you think of ways to make our society safer? Any ideas, Emmanuel?
well, um, I don't really. I think we all are always thinking on doing something, maybe not stupid, but doing something risky. And then if, then we don't take care of things, small things or details that we let pass, and uh, but it's on our nature. I don't think we can do anything on that. Um, I think the only we can do is to be careful in each thing we do.
Being careful is definitely important, as these stories showed us. All right. Hussein, can you think of any ways to make our society safer?
I don't know, but I think these people are really dangerous themselves because they are doing really crazy things and they die doing that. Maybe while they die, the societies are because they are
Oh, like keep
dangerous people.
these
Yeah.
people away from us.
Yeah, because they die doing this, and if they keep doing these things, they're going to all die, and we can live peaceful.
Yeah.
Maybe I
All
don't
right.
know.
Keep these people
But in
away.
a way, I know in a way, all scientists found the things which are really important doing. Maybe I'm wrong because all like I know I don't know, like Edison was afraid of the darkness, and he found the ample. I don't know how to call it.
The,
It's
he was afraid of the
maybe
darkness and what?
he created lamp, lamp,
Ah, got it.
lamp.
Yeah. hmm
I don't know. Yeah,
Okay, so out of
interesting.
fear, sometimes really good solutions are created.
Yeah.
Okay. Kevin, any ideas on how we could make our society safer?
That's a good question. Uh, well, I to make your society safer.
hmm
You mean word safer?
Yeah, the world. How can we make the world safer? Obviously, lots of people are dying for silly causes. How can we make it
Ooh.
safer?
Well, after I read those stories, I think there's no way to make our society safer because people keep doing stupid things and dying for that every
Mm,
day. But for myself, I think we need to be careful. Okay, before if you are on the top of a bridge, you need to just if nature call you, you just need to check out. If you are not in top of a bridge, just be careful and try to not do stupid things.
yes. All right. So, do you guys know any similar stories? Any other stories you think would win a Darwin Award or some kind of runner up? These ones are pretty hard to beat. All right. Let's do some sentences then. We're going to use the vocabulary we learned. We already defined all of these words. So, we're going to use them in some sentences, starting with raid and disguise. And I'm going to ask you guys to put these in the chat box. So raid and disguise will be for Emmanuel. The next one, mugger and stab for Hussein. And the next one, irritated and plunge down is for Kevin. And if you guys have any questions, just let me know as you're writing.
Excuse me, which one is for me? Sorry. Arnold?
Yours is the first. It's the first one that's with our vocabulary. So that would be raid and disguise.
Raid? Raid
Raid and disguise.
and disguise. Okay. We have to write something on that.
Yep, you're going to write a sentence that uses both of those words and put it in the chat box when you're ready.
Okay.
All right, we have one sentence ready. Yesterday, I read a story about a robbery having happened here in my town. Muggers stabbed a woman on the street and stole everything she had on herself. Okay, excellent sentence. I'm impressed by your grammar there. It's excellent. Only one small correction here. And that would be you don't need to say herself because it's not reflexive. You just make it a simple I.
She
Everything
had
she
on
had on
her.
her. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
But other than that, it's awesome. I like your little story, Hussein. And if you want to write another sentence, use piece, answer, and together. So the phrasal verb piece together and answer if you want to write another one.
Mhm.
So we have a sentence in the verb chat box. A robber raid on a bank. Okay. It's a good sentence. I like the ideas. A couple. Oh, cool. So now we have two sentences. So the microphone disguises your voice is a perfect sentence. It uses the word disguise perfectly. And no grammar problems there. Question?
Yeah, I have a doubt. We had to write as just one sentence with these both words.
Well, you can do it in two sentences, but
Okay.
yeah, there is. You can do it in one sentence as well if you're confident enough to be creative and combine the ideas. I have a couple small corrections for the first sentence you made. For instance, robber has two B's.
Oh, yeah.
And you might want to say raided a bank. We don't need, first off, it's in the past, and then we don't need the preposition, so he raided a bank.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. And Emmanuel, if you want to write another one, use nerve and ram while we're waiting for our other sentence.
Okay.
Okay, one more sentence in the chat box. The train crew get irritated with me because I lost my train ticket. Yeah, they're irritable sometimes. Okay, so the train crew got, we're going to make this past since it's probably doesn't make much sense to talk about it in the present unless you do it in the continuous. So the train crew got irritated with me. There was a slight typo in with because I lost my train ticket.
Oh,
Great
with
sentence, Kevin. Thanks. All right. So we only have a couple seconds left, and you guys may or may not be writing a couple more sentences. If you're still writing, put your sentences in the chat box whenever they're ready, and we'll talk about them. And before we go today, I'd like us each to give a couple thoughts on evolution. Do you believe in evolution, and is evolution still happening? How about Kevin? What do you think? Do you believe it?
Yes, I
Still
believe
happening?
in evolution. We are every day's evolution is happening right now.
So
We,
what's an example of evolution that's happening?
anything?
Yeah, like what kind of evolution is happening to us as a species right now?
We are mm, well, there's a lot of things. One thing of evolutions, it's like science, like science. We are going more far on the
Mhm.
about our health.
We're definitely learning a lot. That's
People
true.
are living more and more with some medical treatments and
Mhm.
well, our science is really
Mhm.
have been evolved.
Thanks, Kevin. Emmanuel, what do you think? Do you agree that evolution is still happening?
Finally, evolution.
I'm having a little trouble hearing you. Think of a good example, Emmanuel. If you believe evolution is still happening, give us a good example of it.
Well, evolution happens every day in small pieces, and we cannot see clearly in our bodies or in other let's say animals, uh,
Mm.
but we can see it in plants or in how can I say in in other kind of or in other ways of living
Mhm.
uh, that are for example I don't know trees or some other kind of or vegetables they change faster than than animals do. And there are new how can I say species or
Mhm.
if we look for them we will find new species of plants or animals actually there are um, there are ways we can look for them, but the easiest way is just look around
Mhm.
in the world.
All right. We have our last sentence in the chat box. Police started to investigate this murder. I've heard that they are piecing together all the strange details. One of my friends asked how it happened, but he got no answer. Great sentence, Hussein, and I gave you one little correction in the chat box. Unfortunately, we are out of time for this class, and I'm starting another class right now. So hopefully, if you guys are interested in the next class, which is pronunciation focused, I will see you there. If not, then I look forward to seeing you again soon in a different class. Thanks, guys.
Okay,
Bye.
thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.
Thank
Bye.
you, guys. Bye bye.
Bye bye.